Hey everyone! Welcome back to my channel. This is the second video to a two-part series about PGWP. If you watched my earlier video, you know that I just finished my program and just got my PGWP. So I'm sharing with you the process and walking you through on how to do it yourself while it's still fresh in my memory. If you haven't seen the part 1 of my PGWP series, I will be linking the video somewhere on top of your screen. In that video, I talk about what PGWP is, what are the eligibility, what are the requirements, and I also walk you through on how to submit your PGWP application through your own GC key. And for today's video, for the part 2, I'll be walking you through on how to fill out the IMM5710 form. I know how it can be overwhelming to fill out a government form that we don't want to mess up. So I'm here to help you out. I'm also going to be sharing with you the timeline of my PGWP submission at the end of this video. So without further ado, let's begin. The very first thing that you have to do is to download the Adobe Acrobat Reader. I'll be linking in the description box on where you can download the Adobe free version so you can start using it. And then I also suggest you to download the IMM5710 directly from your GCK account to make sure that you download the correct and most updated version of this form. Please also note that I'll be answering the form based on my profile. So when you're answering the form, make sure that you answer it based on your personal information and on your situation. When you download the form, you might get this error message, but don't worry. All you have to do is to download it on your local drive and open it from Adobe Acrobat Reader and you should be good. So this is how the IMM5710 would look like. It's a 5-page document and it says application to change conditions, extend my stay, or remain in Canada as a worker. The very first thing that it will ask you is your unique client information, or UCI. If you don't know where to find it, you can just take a look at your study permit. It should be at the upper right corner of your document. So let's just enter random numbers. I want service in English. I'm applying for one or more of the following. We want this box that says apply for a work permit for the first time or with a new employer. Moving on to personal details, full name would require for your family name and your given name. So let's just make up an information. Have you ever used any other name, nickname, maiden name, alias? I'll say no, but if you're married and you used to have a different last name, you can click yes and enter your maiden, family name, and given name. Sex, I'll choose female. Date of birth, enter your date of birth. Place of birth would ask for city, town, and country of territory. Citizenship, I'll choose Philippines here as well. And moving on to question number 7, current country or territory of residence. Now, if you're applying and are already in Canada, this should be in Canada. Country or territory says Canada. Status, student, because you are a student when you apply for PGWP. The from and to date should be the same dates that are indicated on your study permit. So the issue date of your study permit is your from date, and the expiration date of your study permit is your to date. Question number 8, previous countries or territories of residence. During the past 5 years, have you lived in any country or territory other than your country of citizenship or your current country and territory of residence for more than 6 months? So if you've only lived in the Philippines and you didn't stay in any other country for more than 6 months other than the Philippines and in Canada, you will have to answer no here. But if you do, please answer according to your situation and enter the details that is required. Your current marital status, I'll say single. And you'll notice that all the other fields were grayed out, so that means you can skip those boxes. Still on personal details, question number 10. Have you previously been married or in a common law relationship? No. Again, please answer according to your situation. Moving on to languages, the native language or mother tongue. I'll say Tagalog. Are you able to communicate in English or in French? English. And the next section will ask about your passport. So please enter the details as shown on your passport. So passport number, let's just say country or territory of issue, so Philippines. Issue and expiry date should be similar to what's printed in your passport. So for example, it was issued 15/01/01 and it will expire on 2025/01. Under passport for question 5 and 6, if you didn't select country and issue of territory as Taiwan or Israel, it will gray out these boxes so you don't have to go through them and you can skip it. Next section is national identity document. I know in the Philippines they started issuing a national ID. Unfortunately, I didn't get the chance to get mine, so I'll answer no here. But if you do have a national ID, please select yes and enter the information that's required. Next section is USPR card. Question number 1 is, are you a lawful permanent resident of the United States with a valid alien registration card or green card? I'll answer no. Contact information. Number 1 asks for your current mailing address. Please take note that whatever address you will enter here, that is where IRCC will send your work permit once it's approved. So make sure that you'll be staying at least for another 6 months in the address that you'll be entering here. So say apartment 20, street number 1, King Street, Toronto, Canada, Ontario, and postal code A1A1A1. If your residential address is same as your mailing address, then just hit yes, and the boxes below will gray out. That means you can skip them. Telephone number, enter your telephone number, select the type, cellular, and then enter your number. If you don't have an alternate telephone number, that's fine. You can skip this. Same as for fax. If you don't have a fax number, it's also fine. For your email address, enter your email address. And moving on to page 3, section coming into Canada. The date and place of your original entry to Canada. Please take note that it's asking for the original entry. So that means, for example, if you've entered last year as a student, however, 5 years ago, you've entered in a visitor's visa, that means the date that you must enter here is the date from 5 years ago. The place is the port of entry, Pearson International Airport. Question number 2, the original purpose of coming to Canada. So we entered as a student. And for question number 3, date and place of your most recent entry to Canada. So if you have multiple entries in Canada, please enter the most recent one. So let's say you entered last year, 2021. And for the place, similar as the above, it's the port of entry. So we can again say Pearson International Airport. Question number 4, if applicable, provide the document number of the most recent visitor record, study permit, work permit, and temporary resident permit issued to you. The document number can also be found in the top right corner of your study permit, which I will share with you in the screen. Moving on to next section, details of intended work in Canada. Question number 1, what type of work permit are you applying for? We are applying for post-graduation work permit. So since post-graduation work permit is a type of an open work permit, you can skip questions 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Let's move straight to question number 8. Have you been issued a certificate under Provincial Nominee Program? No. Education. Have you had any post-secondary education, including university, college, and apprenticeship training? We'll say yes. If you answered yes, give full details of your highest level of post-secondary education. I started since fall. I took project management post-grad at Conestoga College. I graduated 2022-04, Kitchener, Canada, Ontario. Next section is employment. It says, give details of your employment for the past 10 years, including if you have held any government positions such as civil servant, judge, police officer, mayor, member of parliament, hospital administrator. The form will only give you 3 lines for your employment record. If these are not enough, you can include your other work experience in your client information. What I did is I include my most recent resume, which has all my employment details. I put that into my client information. Next section is background information. You must complete this section if you are 18 years of age or older. Question number 1 is, within the past 2 years, have you or a family member ever had tuberculosis of the lungs or been in close contact with a person with tuberculosis? Or no. Letter B, do you have any physical or mental disorder that would require social or health services other than medication during a stay in Canada? The answer is also no. If ever you answered yes to any of these questions, please make sure that you provide details in the box provided. Question number 2, have you ever remained beyond the validity of your status, attended school without authorization, or worked without authorization in Canada? No. Have you ever been refused a visa, a permit, denied entry, or ordered to leave Canada or any other country or territory? No. However, if it took you several times to get your study permit, please answer truthfully to this question, because IRCC has a way to finding a denied visa application in Canada and outside Canada. So just be honest with your application and declare if you've ever been denied a visa to any country or territory. Letter C, have you previously applied to enter or remain in Canada? Now, the answer to this, if you are a student, should always be yes, because we have applied previously to IRCC for our study permit. And then since we tick a yes box in question number 2, you need to provide details. So you can say study permit, the date of issue, and the document number, and that should be good enough. Question number 3, have you ever committed, been arrested for, or been charged with, or convicted of any criminal offense in any country or territory? Final page and continuation of background information. Question number 4, did you serve in any military or civil defense unit or serve in a security organization or police force? No. Question number 5, are you or have you ever been a member or associated with any political party? No. Final question number 6, have you ever witnessed or participated in the ill treatment of prisoners or civilians? No. On the signature section, it will ask for a signature of an applicant, but since it's an electronic form, you can just type your name and enter the date that you have completed this form. The date that you enter here doesn't have to match the date that you submit your PGWP. You can complete this form a day or a week earlier before you submit your PGWP. That's okay. As long as all information you enter here are still up to date, it should be fine. At the bottom of your form, you'll see a validate button. You can click on that and the form will check if you've answered all fields. And it did say the following field must contain a value. And if I go back there, you'll see that it will highlight the field that I missed. Other than validating your form, I would also suggest that you review your form twice or even 3 times to make sure that all information are accurate and spelled correctly. So now I'll be sharing with you my timeline on my PGWP application. April 25, 2022 was my last day at Conestoga. After 3 days, on April 28, 2022, I received my final marks and my completion letter. On that same day, I submitted my PGWP application. May 2, 2022, I started working full-time, and after 116 days, on August 22, 2022, I received an approval on my PGWP application, which will be valid for 1 year until August 2023. So that means by the time I got my approval for PGWP, I already have about 3.5 months of work experience in Canada, which means I only have to wait for another 9 months to be eligible to the Canadian Experience class within Express Entry. That is all I have for you today, guys. So I hope this video helps you answer your form more confidently. If you have any questions, please comment down below and I'll be happy to answer any of it. Please don't forget to hit the like button, share this video, and subscribe. Thank you for watching until the end of the video, and I'll see you again next time.